all of these different pipes. He was like, I mean, I see crypto and I see it as an opportunity for me to remove all of those hurdles. You're turbocharging them with liquidity that works 24/7. You can make changes to your clients' portfolios and allocation models on a Sunday night and do hedging in real time. And so, I mean, at that point, it's just a no-brainer. Everybody's going to switch.
Alrighty, everybody, what is going on? Welcome back to another CYPRX video banger. In today's video breakdown, we're going to be listening to some insights from industry-leading experts from digital asset advisory platforms. We're also going to be listening to a representative from an A+ rated crypto insurance platform. And then we're also going to be hearing some insights from a representative at a regulated licensed investment managing platform. So make sure that you stick around for the entirety of today's video breakdown. Considering where the market landscape is at right now, this video should paint a very positive perspective for you guys long-term as to where the crypto market is headed months/years from now, right? So before we dive into those fundamental perspectives from those panelists in today's video breakdown, I just want to share with you guys that dips like this, pullbacks, liquidation events that have taken place in the digital asset landscape like today or like over the past consecutive days that we have seen should be seen, at least from our perspective, as an opportunity to scoop up blue chip digital assets at a discounted price, considering where this market is most likely going to be in 3, 4, 5 years from now, right? Having a long-term perspective. Yes, short-term turmoil can be painful. It can be disruptive on the mindset, and it can be sort of depressing, especially if you are uneducated and you are buying into the pumps. Now you're seeing a massive decline in your portfolio. But here at CYPRX, again, we're never in an attempt to boost an ego or toot our own horn or anything. We just want to steer you guys in a proper direction surrounding education and information that you, as a retail participant, can actually gather in this market. Now, most retail participants in the space have no idea what they're talking about. They're opinion-based. They're always just constantly chucking out random price predictions and projections to you guys that never come into fruition. Here at CYPRX, time and time again, we will consistently deliver accuracy that goes relatively unnoticed, first of all, but that the vast majority of retail traders will never be able to come across because they are, again, opinionated. They marry a bias. They are not reactive and adaptive to changing market conditions, and they don't even know what market conditions change the market landscape, i.e. create a risk-on, risk-off environment. So real fast before we dive into today's fundamentals to paint a very bullish perspective for you guys long-term, I just want to really show you all that here at CYPRX, we're trying to give you guys proper information ahead of the curve. So let's just take a look back at some previous posts that we were given to you guys and some previous videos that we made on the CYPRX YouTube calling this most recent pullback starting back in December. So I said to you guys back on December 17th, and we're going to show you guys the timestamps on the charts on all of these fundamentals before we dive into today's bullish perspective. The rest of this week, I said back to you guys on December 17th, will set the tone for the remainder of 2024, heading into 2025. Do not be blinded by greed. Know when the sentiment shifts by knowing what to look for. Pause and interest rate cuts from the Federal Reserve, hawkish Fed comments, rising UK inflation, Bank of Japan rate hikes, or any hawkish comments from the BOJ. Geopolitical escalations in the Middle East, Russia, or Ukraine. Any Trump tariff escalations headlines, increasing inflation, or leading to trade wars. These are a few risks that remain, just to name a few. Understand the market in which you trade and invest in. Riding the waves becomes relatively easy. Okay, if you head over to the total cryptocurrency market, we put this information out to you guys on December 17th. The day before the market tanked on December 18th, following hawkish remarks from Jerome Powell. Okay, and you guys can see on TradingView, you can come over here, you can copy and paste tweets on TradingView, and you can actually see where influencers are putting this information out, which I highly suggest that you guys take it upon yourselves to do. On February 1st, okay, this was a report that we delivered to our private community that we made public, which I'll show you guys in just one second. Here's the date. And if you scroll right down here, we had talked about market conditions and we talked about some scenarios possibly playing out. And here is our bearish scenario number 2 that we had projected would most likely come into fruition considering the current market landscape at that point in time, which was back on February 1st. Again, over almost a month in advance. Fast forward. If you guys see that screenshot, right, you can see I haven't deleted any drawings from my charts. We broke below $3 trillion and we started to make our way correcting some of this November move, which we annotated to you guys in a previous Zoom call, which we'll go over in just one second. Again, back on February 22nd, I even gave you guys some institutional insights from a large asset manager. This is from Galaxy 2025 Investment Outlook. They put this out in January. I posted this to you guys on February 22nd because it gave a bullish perspective, but it left you off with a little tiny note. And it says, as always in crypto, this will not happen in a straight line, and we will do our best to maintain a balanced and focused approach to our investing, right? And you guys can see, again, if we head over to the charts where I put this information out to you guys on the 22nd of February, letting my viewers and my followers know that even though we are extremely optimistic and bullish on crypto long term, these short-term price fluctuations do take place and these pullbacks do happen, and you cannot ignore them. You need to understand why they happen, why we're not seeing massive bullish price appreciation in the digital asset landscape across multiple digital assets, not just Bitcoin or XRP. It's everything as a whole is pretty much down intraday, either on the weekly or monthly timeframes. Okay. And so understanding these concepts and these principles is crucial to your survival and your longevity in this space. Now, to show you guys again that we publicly were talking to you guys about this after just showing you multiple other resources, you can see here, this is a video that we posted on YouTube via a private Zoom call that we had from 3 weeks ago. You can see, I'm going to play a little tiny video clip. We were talking about the February 1st fundamental breakdown. We were giving you guys a perspective as to what would most likely weigh on the crypto landscape, and we called the most recent pullback that we are now currently operating in. Take a second and listen. Number lows. This will be our first bearish scenario where we could possibly see the digital asset landscape push back down towards $3 to $2.9 trillion. Okay. The second bearish scenario is if we break $3 trillion to $2.9 trillion and the market sentiment continues to worsen, i.e. trade wars escalate, inflationary pressures increase. Robust economic data from the United States pushes back further on interest rate cut hopes from the Federal Reserve, right? Anything weighing on risk sentiment, even possibly geopolitical tensions escalating in the Middle East or Russia, Ukraine, okay? This will be scenario number 2 for a bearish case scenario, and that would be a deeper retracement breaking below $3 to $2.9 trillion and making our way coming back down to correct more of the November bullish move. So now considering where we are at in the crypto landscape, yes, these pullbacks can be painful, and yes, they can deteriorate your perspective short-term and long-term of this digital asset landscape, especially if you were buying back here in December, you were buying back here in January, and you were buying at tops in February. This is why it's so extremely important to join a like-minded community, to know when it's time to deploy capital, to know when it's time to be patient and sit on your hands and not be buying into the hype. And so now, considering that the markets are at a discount, this is when we here at CYPRX are deploying our hard-earned capital. This is when we are deploying dry powder, when the market is discounted from previous rallies that have taken place in the market. Okay. And so we go over this information on a weekly and daily basis in our private community. We type out handwritten reports, as you guys can see, from February 1st, calling these market pullbacks and these moves in advance. We don't use any magic indicators, any magic moon cycles or astronomical freaking events that take place or astrology events or whatever the heck people are doing to say that that's what controls the markets. We just take a very logical, reactive and adaptive approach. We apply institutional fundamentals and institutional deltas. And if you guys want to learn more about how we do that, you can tap into the private CYPRX community by heading over to CYPRXtrading.com. I'm not telling you guys to go and join our private community, nor am I saying that it is mandatory for you to do so for you to survive in this market. But again, if you are tired of being confused, if you're tired of being manipulated, and you're tired of being lied to by influencers on the internet that have no idea what the heck they're talking about, then tap in with us here at CYPRX. Moving on, I'm done my rant, okay? So I said to you guys just the other day, only trouble anyone should be having when the crypto market is down over $130 billion on the day is figuring out what blue chip digital assets they want to gobble up at a discount. This is from February 24th, 2025. Then shortly afterwards, the day after, February 25th, Justin Watch Your Guru posted, Donald Trump Jr. says, buy the dips. So let me show you guys that some of the top leading industry experts in this space from Hedera, from Ripple, from XDC Network are so unfazed from this most recent dip. I thought that this was very interesting before we get into the video clips that I have for you guys today. This was really cool. The CYPRX research team was tuning into this DLT-enabled online summit that took place. We had XDC Network representatives, Hedera representatives, Ripple representatives, alongside many others sharing insights into the digital asset landscape and the future of the industry while the entire market was shedding over $100 billion. And one key takeaway just from all the powerful things that were said on this online summit was that no one was fazed at the fact that the market was pulling back. It's almost as if they didn't even really realize that the market was in a pullback phase, as how bullish some of the things that they were saying were. Okay. So just take that into consideration. You know, these are the types of events that we talk about and tune into in the private CYPRX community. We shared access to this event a long time ago where you could actually sign up for this event. And this took place yesterday, the DLT enabled economic impact and opportunity. And I mean, this event was jam packed with gems. Okay. Again, an online forum where major representatives from large organizations were tapping in. You got individuals, again, like I said, from the XDC network, from Hedera, from Ripple. Okay. Giving some perspectives that go relatively unnoticed. And considering the current market landscape, you have retail investors that are getting shaken out left and right. They have no idea what took place on a call like this. Anybody that listened to a call like this will remain extremely optimistic and bullish. This is why we encourage you guys to tap into these panel discussions, because you're listening to perspectives from industry leading experts that are non-biased, non-opinionated, and are actually giving you guys insights into the current market landscape, regardless of what price action is doing. They're talking about developments, they're talking about regulations, they're talking about what perspectives and mindsets you need to have to last long term in this space. And they're physically telling you guys what is going to unfold over the next consecutive couple of years. So with all that being said, let's dive into today's video breakdown. I'm sorry for the rant. So let's just tap in. This video breakdown that I shared with you guys from 13 days ago from Blockfuel only still has 58 views. And listen to what this gentleman says, because this is going to set the tone for what these other industry leading experts say on stage.
And so, you know, that's an element that we consider. What I would mention is $85 trillion is going to transition in the next 10 years from the baby boomers to Gen X, millennials, Gen Z, and that group. That group is digitally native. So you think about, again, all the different tailwinds in crypto. One is just a pure demographic shift, right?
So again, he's talking about this digital transformation. He's talking about the massive wealth transformation that is about to unfold right before our very eyes. As a matter of fact, we are currently living through it. I want to take you guys back to a video that was posted on January 8th, only has 147 views. These are industry experts from the organizations that I mentioned to you guys at the very beginning of today's video breakdown. Listen to what they say. I'm going to be playing 4 video clips back to back, and just pay attention to detail. They're talking about how every asset class will come on chain, how everyone is going to switch over to this digitally native infrastructure, and that we are extremely early, zooming out and looking out long term into this space.
I'd say from an asset class perspective, the real estate and the private credit and other things, they've actually been tried for quite a while now. And they continue to grow in breadth, which means there's more and more new fintechs that are emerging and building on chain. The ones that are going to be successful are the ones who have gone through licensing in the appropriate jurisdictions. And I think what we're going to see is we're going to see a continued specialization by those platforms, where they get better and better at bringing a particular asset class on chain. And it might be an unlock because of their specialty and their background or the jurisdiction that they operate in. But we're starting to see this emergence of new products coming on chain across all asset classes. I'm really excited about today, just tokenized money funds. I think you're going to hear more about reinsurance, something I've been pretty passionate about as well. But there's every asset class, to answer the question, is going through this digitization process to be available in a wallet. Every asset class, to answer the question, is going through this digitization process to be available in a wallet.
Sure. Well, I talk to financial advisors. This is what they do every day. And I recently had a conversation with a Midwestern RIA who has 6 different custodians, because he needs to he wants to cover a wide range of asset classes. And I mean, it is incredibly expensive to maintain kind of the operational overhead of dealing with 6 different custodians and managing, you know, investment portfolio models with all of these different pipes. He was like, I mean, I see crypto and I see it as an opportunity for me to remove all of those hurdles. And as Anthony was referencing, in the future, you're gonna deliver these services directly to your clients' wallets. And so this is what this advisor is envisioning. And actually, that's actually possible today. We have the infrastructure. So what's going to happen is you have these products and services traditionally, and all you're doing, moving them on chain, is making them 10 times more efficient. You're turbocharging them with liquidity that works 24/7. You can make changes to your clients' portfolios and allocation models on a Sunday night and do hedging in real time. And so, I mean, at that point, it's just a no-brainer. Everybody's going to switch. So it's not that. And so, I mean, at that point, it's just a no-brainer. Everybody's going to switch. So it's not
inherit the properties of of how this market structure works. So, but we have to get to that point. We've got to work with legislators on how do they handle securities licenses and how do they have protection from supervisory responsibilities. A whole lot to do there. But Miguel's right. Like the advisors and the investors that we work with are increasingly very long crypto, right? They're increasingly doing more in their wallet. They're increasingly going, especially the skews young, right? But this is the largest transformation of wealth that we will see, and it's going from baby boomers to the younger generations, millennials and Gen Zers. And they're going to be like, no, I'm used to this fast digital programmatic stuff, so I want this stuff in my wallet. I'm not going to go use a legacy platform. So that's what we're doing. Like, you have to serve them where they are. And this is actually, it's a savings conversation, it's a retirement conversation, because then you get into how do you start to educate and ensure that young people are passionate about retirement and savings. Like, you got to deliver them products and services where they are.
Classes are going to proliferate, definitely.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I would just say as well, as is said on literally every panel, is it's just so early. You know, the more you go into it, the more you realize how early it is and how much work remains to be done. So,
okay, so I'll pause it right there. I'll end today's video clip on that note. You heard the gentleman mention that every asset class will come on chain. He mentioned that everyone is going to switch. Then the gentleman from Coinbase confirmed that. He said that he is right. And he talked about the largest transformation of wealth happening right now, considering what the gentleman from Galaxy mentioned. $85 trillion of wealth is transferring as we speak. And they just confirmed that, right? This is coming from multiple panelists on multiple different days. And so they're not just saying this stuff because it's not happening and they're talking out of their butt. They're saying this stuff because they're getting data, they're getting information from behind the scenes, and they see what is happening. And then the gentleman, last but not least, something that you guys need to understand and consider is that this is going to take time. We are early. There's still so much that needs to happen, regulations that need to be put in place, infrastructure that needs to continue to be developed and built out, which it does seem as though the infrastructure is laid, and that we are much more mature in the digital asset ecosystem than we were 3, 4, 5 years ago, but there is still so much to be done. So take that into consideration. Even on days where the market looks like this, these should be seen as opportunities, at least from our perspective here at CYPRX. Understand when those opportunities present themselves by understanding market conditions as we present it to you guys. We know here at CYPRX, because we have institutional insights, we have institutional deltas, and we track institutional fundamentals. You guys should be doing the same thing, not just randomly speculating and hoping for high-end prices by following influencers that are misguided and provide misleading information to the market and market participants. As always, take an educational and a mature approach, and you can survive in this digital asset landscape long-term. If anybody is interested in tapping in with us here at CYPRX, then head over to CYPRXtrading.com. We would love to have you on the team. As always, many blessings to you guys. Smash that thumbs up button and subscribe to the platform if you did enjoy today's video. And as always, I will see you all in the next video breakdown.